Is in order to determine if the animal is in the true intermold period, need to examine it for the membranous layer. And the membranous layer can be detected by cracking the carapace like this, and then with your fingernail or a forceps, pulling it back. And if it is just tissue, as it was here, there's no tough member holding it, this means that this is actually, although its carapace is hard, it's at the very end of the post-molt period. The reason this mouth part is chosen is because at the edge of it, at the lateral edge, there are some very large CD, well spaced, and therefore it's easy to tell what's going on. So this is the epipodite of the maxilliped, and it's the edge where there are these very long CD, widely spaced. The reason I know this is in the pre-molt phase, I can't tell exactly where, well, because the carapace was hard, I can say it is in stage C3, is that the tissue is right up against the cuticle, and the CD are extending from the cuticle. There's no space there. When we begin to look at the pre-molt stages, there will be a gap between the tissue. It's pulled back so that the new cuticle can be formed. Crack the carapace, and then you pull it gently, and if it's in at least the intermold stage or pre-molt stage, there is a tough membrane. See, as I'm pulling it here, it just holds in there. It's a tough, that's the membranous layer. It's a tough, thin layer. In the previous crab, I just pulled the broken piece of the carapace away. So this tells me that this is at least intermold. It could be in a pre-molt stage. I've removed the maxilliped and put the epipodite on the slide here, and I see that there is a small gap between the tissue and the old cuticle. That gap says that the stage is D0 because there are no CD developing in there. That comes later. This is the very first stage. Pre-molt has been initiated in this crab.
Cool.
Is molt cycle stage D3. The cuticle has been decalcified, and it's within a day or two, maybe 3, of actually molting. So here we can see the new CD fully formed. They're sort of arranged in a, really just for packing in the flesh, in a sort of finger in a glove, with the finger only halfway poking out. We are all using surgical gloves these days, and it's just like when you pull your finger out of the glove is partly still into the hand of the glove, if you know what I mean. The new cuticle is fully calcified and all the CD are formed. There's now a very large space between the new cuticle and the old cuticle, so large that the tip of the new CD are actually sticking out into that space.